Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm here with co-host Hillary Allen, and this morning we're interviewing Stephanie Violett before the 2017 The North Face Endurance Challenge 50-mile championships. Woohoo! Yeah, it's the end of the year.
I know.
Except it's not December this year.
It feels like it though.
Does it?
Yeah.
So how's it going?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
I've had quite an interesting, awesome, crazy fall.
You've had an interesting, awesome, crazy 2017.
I have.
Let's be
I
honest.
have. It's been, yes, all those words.
I want to start with you a year ago here.
Yeah.
And you on the finish line here. It was pretty beautiful, at least as an observer, to watch you cross the finish line and just kind of like bust open emotionally.
Yeah, it was a very emotional race for me. And yeah, I mean, after a year of not running and then being able to run 50 miles, it was amazing to have that.
Yeah, I mean, it was inspiring to watch, and everyone had their, high hopes, and you ended up doing really well, I mean, considering everything that happened that year, so.
Yeah, I think it was just for me more to be back racing again and just like know that my body could do this again, because after a year you're kind of not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Running wise, you've done some interesting things in 2017. You started off the year down in Texas at Bandera, and you won the race overall.
Yeah, I feel like I just like nailed that one.
Yeah, bam!
Yeah, that was a good confidence booster. Yeah.
And then?
Yeah, I don't know what happened then. Then I kind of had a slower spring and then got into Western States and kind of had a rough day there. I really feel like I bombed that one, but proud to finish.
Yeah.
And then
like bombing is so like, I mean, because you were still like 12th, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't bomb.
Right. I guess it could have been so much worse. But yeah, just so many things went wrong for me in that race that it was really frustrating. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad I finished. But it was a tough day for sure, just physically and mentally. So licked my wounds and went over to Chamonix and kind of had a rough day there too. Yeah. I think a lot of in Chamonix I just had a bad day, like bad luck. Like I felt fit, so I don't know, those things happen. I suffered it out.
Yeah. Because I remember like meet up with you in Chamonix and you seemed like you had like such a good attitude about it and you were super excited to be there and on the start line, so it just seems like one of those things that happens in the 100-mile race.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It's so long, so much can go wrong, and I mean, I had a great time in Chamonix. I
had a great vacation.
It was so great. Every day was awesome. So you can't be too bummed about that.
Yeah, the jazz in the park, that was the good part.
Yeah.
It's like the mystery of running 100 miles, though, is that the equation changes from the start of the race to the middle of the race to the end of the race. Every 100 miler is different, and the equation is just so hard to get right.
It is, yeah. And I think, I mean, even when you've gone through and had a couple rough ones and you think you've got it, like, oh, I know what to do, then something new happens and it's like, wow, I've never had this happen to me before. So yeah, and that's part of the draw to that distance for me, is there is so much of that like troubleshooting and problem solving, and you never know.
Yeah. And then your fall.
Yeah.
You had a really interesting fall.
I know.
Like not in this country for most of the time.
I know. I was just talking to one of my friends back in Bend, and we hadn't seen each other since July. So I've been gone. My poor dog is just like, where are my people right now? Yeah. So after Chamonix, we were home for a week, and then we actually moved houses in that week, so it was like crazy time. And then we went to Nepal for 5 weeks.
5 weeks in Nepal.
Oh, it was so amazing. Okay. Yeah.
Trekking, running, everything?
Yeah, I actually was not there to run. Okay. I did run twice. One of them was a race.
That I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, well, so we're trekking and we see the sign coming into this village and it's like 65K ultramarathon tomorrow. And I was like, what? I should do this. Should I do this? We had planned on having a rest day or like acclimatizing day. And so I was like, well, I don't know, I'm just going to do it. And it was amazing. But And I say I ran twice. It was so high that it wasn't exactly running.
The running, you might be doing the running motion, but
yeah, or a lot of like just walking, moving very slowly.
Yeah.
So
it feels like you're moving fast.
Yeah, but Nepal was a trekking trip, and it was great. We'd walk for like 3 to 5 hours a day, and then hang out, read. It was really relaxing, and really incredible. The mountains there. I mean, I've seen some pretty cool mountains, and they just blew them out of the water.
I think you climbed a fairly high mountain.
We did, and that was also a spontaneous, like, we were making pretty good progress on our trek. We were doing a loop, and we're like, well, there's this peak we could climb that's like kind of right there. Island Peak,
okay.
Yeah, and we're like, we should just do it. And so we did. We rented all of this gear. We got a guide. I have a picture. I have like 5 jackets on and this big red jacket that I rented. That's like, I mean, I look like, I don't know, Santa Claus.
A marshmallow?
Yeah, basically. And we climbed the peak, and it was incredible. It was out of my comfort zone for sure. We started at midnight. And I mean, it was like crampons and ice axes, and we got to cross a crevasse on a ladder.
Oh man.
But nothing, I've never done anything like that. So
does that compel you to maybe do things like that again? Or
yes, definitely. It scared me a little bit, but in a good way.
Okay.
So I'm definitely intrigued. I got pretty cold, so I would need to figure out how to keep my hands a little warmer, but
yeah.
I'm definitely into it.
And so coming back to the States then, how long have you been back from Nepal?
So this weekend will be 4 weeks.
Okay.
So it's been, it's been pretty quick. And the first week, so I got sick on my way back. Another
oh my
first.
God, yeah, you social media.
I know.
Sick on international travel.
Oh my gosh, that was, and thankfully it didn't happen on the trip. It was the way back. But I spent 15 hours in the bathroom just like rotating. Like I was like, coming up both ends. It was awful. And actually on the way back to, they wouldn't let me get on my last flight. I had to go to the ER in Denver and like,
oh my goodness,
get fluid. So the first week back in the US wasn't very nice. I spent it in bed. So I feel like I've really been back for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like last minute entry into the race, or I mean not really last minute because you're planning to probably come out here for the North Face, but is that, are you excited about it? What was the turn of events? Yeah,
I mean in my mind this is a bonus race. So I'm healthy enough, I've made it through my season, and this is kind of going back to what we first started with. This is kind of closure for me for 2017. I mean, this is where I started last year, and I want to finish with this race. In terms of how I feel about it, I mean, 2-3 weeks of preparation isn't necessarily ideal.
Let's say you'll be fresh.
Yeah.
I'm fresh, yeah. And I mean, I had the whole year, so it's not like I just trained for 3 weeks, but there's people that have been focusing on this race, and for me it's a bonus, and I'm gonna go out there and do my best, but also it's a celebration of a year of running without injury. Like I'm so thrilled.
Yeah.
My body is like healthy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you out there.
Thank you.
And if there's tears of excitement on the finish line, I'll be ready and waiting for that. I love
Perfect.
it.
Yeah, I think there probably will be.
Best of luck.
Thank you.